What's up, everyone? This is Clive with Yardco Rock Stone, the best stone yard in sunny South Florida. Today we are installing a basalt water feature. In this video, I will be explaining the process and steps from start to finish. In the description below, I will have links to our website and a written PDF that you can download and print so that you have a guide while out in the field. Please like, comment, and share, and enjoy the video. Begin by digging out the hole. You need to dig about 12 inches deep and want to dig a wide enough hole where you will retain ample water reserve, not to mention so that you recollect the water that splashes away from the feature. In our instance, we have plenty of area since the customer doesn't want the water feature to create too much splash, rather they want a calm trickle effect. But we still went ahead and used the total area so that they always have plenty of water. By having a surplus of water, we reduce the amount of times the basin needs to be topped off, reducing the maintenance of the water feature for our customer. Right now, you can see we're using the dirt in the area to build up the grade near the door, since it was low there anyways. Once we got our basin depth to about 12 inches, we dug an additional 9-inch deep hole in the back corner where the pump bucket will eventually be placed. Make sure the diameter of the hole is wider than the bucket so that the water can easily pass through the drilled holes on the sides of the bucket. After making sure the bottom of the basin is about level, we grabbed the underlayment provided in our pump kit and stretched it over the hole evenly, making sure to tuck the underlayment starting in the pump bucket area. We slowly worked our way out in all directions, making folds and creases wherever needed to avoid placing them where our concrete blocks would eventually go. That way it is easier to level the basalt feature in the end.
Sí, así, a veces me gusta bien. Así estaría más plano. Van a ser 3 piezas. Así. Y luego cortamos hasta allá, entonces no veas. Sí, pero no veas la ropa. ¿Y lo más aquí? Sí, paras. Pero tú allá atrás.
With the rubber liner, we repeated the same steps, tucking the liner into the pump bucket area and then working our way out. We went ahead and placed the bucket in its location. As you can see, there is an air gap that surrounds all sides of the bucket. Now it's time to place our concrete blocks, but before we can do that, we need to place the thick rubber mats in first. These act as a protective membrane to make sure the corners of the concrete blocks don't puncture the liner. You can also see now why it's helpful to move any folds in the liner away from where the blocks will be placed. Place your blocks on top as you see in the video. I like to cross their direction on the second layer for added stability. Once we like the positioning of the concrete blocks, we can now start filling the entire basin with our cheap fill rock. In this case, we're using medium brown egg rock. We started by placing the material in between the rubber liner and pump bucket, and then proceeded everywhere else. Now that we have got the rock level to be about flush with the concrete blocks, we could go ahead and place the basalt feature. In our case, we had machinery at the job site, so we utilized that. However, these features can be handled by hand trucks as long as they are strong enough to handle the weight of the specific feature that you're interested in. If using a hand truck, you would simply ride over the fill material and slowly place the feature on the blocks. Also, you can see why we placed the pump bucket in this location. A clear, direct path from the pump to the feature's inlet fit. As Jose continued to fill the basin with more rock, I removed the bucket lid and placed the pump inside. Next, we started to get our plumbing ran from the pump to the feature. I'm sorry for not getting a better angle of this, but I figure this portion is pretty straightforward anyways. With all of the plumbing provided in the pump kit, we made our connection including a ball valve on the line for adjustability. You'll be able to see the end product shortly. Also, remember not to glue any of the fittings just yet. We will need to rely on the pump to purge the dirt and fines from the system. Now it's time to start filling up the system with water. You'll see I'm moving around, spraying the water in different locations so that I make sure I'm disturbing as much of the dirt as possible. You may need to repeat this process several times until the water is clear or very close. While we waited for the basin to fill up, we began trimming the excess liner and underlayment, taking our time to make sure we cut just below the edge so it wouldn't be visible in the end.
¿Ves algo?
As you saw in the previous clip after the first top off, the water is very dirty and we need to clean it. We brought some extra tubing with us to have enough length to run the water outside of our recollection basin. We repeated this process several times while making sure one of us was by the outlet to unplug the pump cord as soon as we saw signs of bubbles flowing in the wastewater. That is a sign that the pump is sucking air, which is not ideal. Here is an example of what it looks like when your system is low on water and the pump is sucking air. It's important that your customer knows this as well so they know to shut off the pump and add water. Remember that even though these systems recirculate water, they do eventually lose water through evaporation and whatever small amount that splashes out over time. And once our water was clear, we placed our decorative top material to finish the install. Our customer selected the top class black 1 to 2 inch, which we think looks great against the feature. And there you have it. Thank you for watching the video. We hope you found it helpful and it answered all of your questions. If you have any other questions or want to plan a visit, please take a look in our description where you will find all of our contact information.